Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're starting to look at a game called Magnetic Cage Closed, easily misremembered as Magnetic Case Closed, because that would make a lot more sense. So I'm going through several Portal-inspired games, and this is the 2015 mixed reviewed game that had a brief bit of coverage, but seemingly people didn't like it. We just looked at Cube, Q-U-B-E, and that was a game where it was up in the air and the question about whether you were a prisoner or whether you were an astronaut. This game is going to straight out tell you you are a prisoner. But also, this game, by looking at the achievements, has already told me that it has 9 endings, where the director's cut of QUBE 1 could very well have done with having 2 achievements. But this is also a year later than the director's cut of that game came out, so it should have learned from previous mistakes, and I think it did by having a story. It may not have learned from controls. I do want to applaud, well, it may not have learned from quality. That's what I probably should say. I do want to applaud this game for immediately getting every single video setting the way I would want it. And it has Oculus Rift support. I'm more than happy for games to have VR support, but I definitely don't want to see it mandatory or main focus. And a 3D puzzle platformer with Oculus Rift support, it kind of makes sense. So everything here was enabled. Everything here was set to high. The only thing I've done is turn down the audio, which is default for my recording setup. And subtitles are even on by default. I did click from keyboard to gamepad, so those are like the only 2 buttons I've changed. And we can see with an Xbox 360 controller here that you're going to have mag level up, mag level down, push pull, drop box with either Y or B. You're going to jump with the A button, you're going to interact with the X, you can look around and crouch, which is interesting. You can also use the D-pad to mag level up and mag level down. So this is very basic setup for controls. There's a time trial mode also, which we will look at the end of the series. And that's about all the setup we need to do, so we just need to hop into the game. Now, if I hit A, well, right now my controller is just controlling the mouse, which, that's okay. Like, this is just the starting menu. That's about all we needed to do. So, new game. So,
Prisoner XE476.
I told you they were going to tell you you were a prisoner immediately.
Out of all the numerous scum that inhabit death row, you have been tagged as completely expendable, and you have therefore been placed here in my care. I am William Keene, the warden of this facility, and the man in charge of the experimental weapons program. In here, I will give you 2 options: cooperation or death.
So this is a prison designed to keep you always confused. Seems like I can only look left or right so much. And they're going to take the elements of the dangerous parts later on in Portal 1 and Portal 2. I'm just starting at that point.
Your criminal record will be erased. From then on, you'll be free to ruin your life out in the real world once more. If you start falling behind, however, or make too many mistakes, we shall have no use for you, and your sentence will be carried out.
So the idea that you would be freed if you're this horrible prisoner is completely unbelievable. Like, that's not something that's realistic. And clearly this is all just transition stuff. We're probably going to see too many of these translations if I was to guess. And they put the autosave in the top right when I would prefer it to be in the bottom right. It's a little distracting to have that icon up there. Interlude is an odd phrase. Seems like we've walked around this prison. And
now, your first choice. Either you walk up to the door and enter the transit, or you can stay in here. If you choose to stay, we will fill the chamber with chlorine gas, and you will die a slow, agonizing death. You have 1 minute to make up your mind.
so I guess you could probably get one of the 9 endings right now if you just stayed here. I mean, we haven't invested that much time. Let's just look at the clock. He said 1 minute to comply. Well, alright, we'll just sit here and not walk to the gate. Like, I assume it means walk up to that one. You can see this says Curitas or Curitas, and I assume that's a fold down bed. So we'll just sit here and die. It's been about 30 seconds so far. Not a lot to say about this game. It graphically looks good, but it also looks like a lot of Unreal assets could have been purchased to make this. Clearly these door transitions don't really match a what I would create originally for a world like this. Like, they're too small and they don't really make sense. So that very well may have been the easiest ending of them all, and it's so speedrun done. I've found one ending. So yeah, it's a Unity game made with Unity assets. Let's see if we can skip this. Or do we want to skip this? Because this might be our only chance to actually see these little animations. That being said, I'm not sure if the animations are gonna spoil things. Apparently this is the character we were playing as. We didn't see this, of course. So an ending like this with the music would be a lot more impactful if we hadn't just stayed in one place. So yeah, we're seeing the pictures, the credits. It's kind of hard to see the credits. Apparently at some point we're gonna get a magnetic propulsion gun device. I kind of spoiled this on myself in all fairness, because I did look on the Steam achievements and saw that there were 9 endings. So the idea of staying in one place and something happening is always interesting in games as a silly way to end the game. QUB Director's Cut could have easily had an ending in several places if you just stood in the same place and didn't move. But it didn't. It has one very linear storyline from beginning to end, and no other way to die. The endings, those credits aren't incredibly long. It's kind of interesting about this game is that it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Like, the company, the developer, has a Wikipedia page, but when you click on the game name, it's just like it's not there. So this is kind of lesser known than I thought it was. And I'm wondering if this audio that's playing right now might get content ID'd by YouTube too. And so when looking at the developer's Wikipedia page, I saw that apparently up to 2014 they were funding through publishers the development of their games, and then they kind of changed their name and started going through Kickstarter. That might explain why this game is mixed reviewed, is if people kickstarted it and thought it was going to be the next Portal or Portal 2, and then realized, well, no, you really aren't going to have the level of writing and puzzle design that Valve can afford to have developed. And that might also explain why there aren't very many new 3D puzzle platforming games coming out in 2019 anymore. Like, you'll get games that look kind of like them, but they're clearly, obviously asset flips and very low effort games. It's very ambitious to make a 3D puzzle platformer, because you have to make at least medium-sized levels, and you have to you're up to a very high bar. Let's see, game clear. What happens if I load this? I can't. Alright, well then, new game. Hold back to skip.
Prisoner XE
Probably means hold the back on the keyboard.
Welcome to Facility 7.
Backspace.
Out of all the numerous scum that
Yeah, to find the other the other 8 endings, if I can't load into automatic save files, then that's going to that's not going to be realistically worth the time to do. Yeah, Portal 2 and Portal 1 have risen the bar so high that it has to have a narrative focus and a story of something interesting and something that keeps you wanting to play the puzzles, on top of having really good puzzles.
And you will die a slow, agonizing death. You have 1 minute to make up your mind.
It's hard to even try to do that. When you see the game The Witness, for example, I had to hit A before the control sticks would work. Interesting. Like, The Witness was a game that in development was going to have a lot of story to it, and at some point they abandoned almost all of the story, and I guess you just have to crawl through this automatically, and just focus on the puzzles.
How wise. Some people break down before we even start. They say the first few hours are the hardest, when everything is new and traumatic. Some even cry like babies, failing to see that they have been given an opportunity.
So I assume each prisoner gets given a different kind of gun. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to test
I will send you to the basic
weapons
evaluation module first.
on
the people
prisoners.
upstairs have had a
It
hard
really
time
doesn't.
finding suitable subjects in death row, so we have been ordered to stop wasting resources. If you ask me though, what is there to waste?
Like, you can already imagine that the satisfactory ending here would be to get face to face with the Warden and shoot the guy.
Good luck, prisoner XE47623, and remember, there is always a way out.
So the idea, I suppose, here is that the psychologist will be the carrot and the Warden is the stick, to motivate us through all of this. They put the loading icon in the top right too. That's annoying. Like, is there really no settings to change that? Yeah, I don't think that there's any way to move that. That's really annoying. Just put it in the wrong place.
Welcome to Facility 7, prisoner XE47623.
Feels like you should be
My
seeing
name
somebody
is Dr.
here.
Karen Womberg, the prison psychologist. That, however, is not really what's important right now. What is important is that you pay attention and learn quickly, or you won't make it far in this place.
Not every room is filled with gas. So the game, I assume, is here trying to make me either learn that you will fall to your death, or you won't fall to your death. I guess this is you won't fall to your death. And the reason why in Portal you had special boots that explained why you weren't falling to your death is just because it's based in the Half-Life universe. And thus, in the previous Half-Life games, Gordon Freeman was capable of hurting himself at Great Falls. So I'm getting the prompts for the keyboard, but I'm playing on a controller, so that's slightly different. And we're getting cameras everywhere. There's a good chance we'll be done with this game and it'll come up with the usual response, which is don't ever kickstart a game, don't ever pre-order a game, don't ever buy an incomplete product in general. I guess I can't interact, aka turn the knob of a maintenance store. And there's the Unity logo, which I don't know if Unity would be 100% happy with that being used in the actual context of the world or the game. You can see a single wire that follows a straight line to unlock things, so we'll be shown the right thing. This is a magnetic gun playground.
Well then, in the middle of this chamber, there is a device that you will need. It's still what the people upstairs call a prototype, but it should suffice for now.
So we're gonna smash it or just pick it up?
We call it a magnet gun, but I won't tell you how it works since no one here expects you to have an advanced knowledge of physics. Just do what most prisoners do. Push a few buttons and see what happens. I suppose a few words of warning are in order. That device will not only apply forces to objects around you, but you will also be affected. So the stronger the power setting on the magnet gun, the greater the force that pushes or pulls on you and the objects. When you are done playing around, just take the elevator, and I will guide you further in the next chamber.
Seems like there are two settings. Alright, let me just see if I can understand this. Alright, we can take this, magnet up on this, and hold on to this. And then dope. And you don't have to actually hold on to it. I'm coming to recognize this. It kind of just holds on to itself. Somewhat. It kind of has a system to it. See, what did I do to open that? Okay, so when there's something on the platforms that activates something. This is weird music playing right now. Now, because that's so heavy, I can't really pick this piece up all. And it seems like there's a limit on the number of things. And if I have something actually connected to me, cannot do anything magnetic to the cameras, which is odd. So what does this do when we pull? It does nothing now. It seems like that's kind of shaking the environment, but there's a lot of things here that look like they're metallic that would be magnetable, but aren't. Wow, and it doesn't seem very directional either. Like it does seem like I'm just grabbing everything. Okay. That's enough setup. Yeah, this whole crawling through this section is unnecessary. I mean, you're in no way hiding the fact that this is a load section. You're just making it more obvious.
We do not wish to strain you just yet, so we'll start simple. A button and a box. This is all you need to worry about. Feel free to toss it around a bit before moving along.
Okay. Alright, it doesn't seem like there's anything else to really do here. Unless this is just test this to see if you'll get electrocuted. You will get electrocuted, but it doesn't seem like that has too much effect on you. Other than like bouncing you around. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's gonna actually kill you. Although you do get your character screaming in pain. They're coming with me, box. I assume the idea here is to make it so you can't bring the box with you. But there's really no reason why that would be the case. You could figure a way.
I hope that you have realized by now that the D-27 magnetic propulsion device can both attract and repel the objects you encounter. In the next chamber, you will also see how it can affect you. Here, though, it's more of the same. Boxes and buttons.
Let's see. Is there anything down here that's even worth looking at? Like, that's just a light. Maybe there's some trickery about lighting up lights with the magnetic gun. So it's a circle, so the square does not fit. Which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it makes more sense to have just a magnetic hallway that grabs everything and sucks it to, like, the roof or the...
The force that propels you becomes greater if you jump after it builds up. Think of it like tensing your leg muscles a little extra before making the leap.
Why can't I just rip this open and escape there? You can increase or decrease the strength with the up or down button. Yeah, that I already figured that out. So, oh. So, am I supposed to stand back this way and then leap? Apparently, yes. While we're doing this, this doesn't seem completely smooth in its control. It's not bad in any way, but I was hoping to be able to get up there, and clearly I can't. This also might be a Kickstarter game that's incredibly short. QUBE was not particularly long, although it did have a ridiculous achievement to play it 500 times.
Everything is going smoothly so far, and you seem to understand the most fundamental uses of the magnet gun. But just so you know, this is the easy part. I would hate for you to get your hopes up, only to have them crushed later on.
This is kind of basic stuff right now, so there's not a lot of challenge happening. Yeah, I would have definitely wanted a magnetic hallway to just grab any objects that were coming along with you. That makes more sense than even Portal, where Portal invented a emulsification field, which is just a made-up concept. Special electric field to destroy everything and reset everything. I guess also you could say that they've found a way, at least so far, to not have to reset any part of a puzzle. I think the way that you're either gonna succeed or you're gonna fail.
If you can make it across without falling down even once, you will get an extra star in the protocol. Otherwise, well, I guess there are other promising inmates.
Well, I'm assuming I'm not falling down when I do this. I assume. Oh, man.
Disappointing. Well, no matter. I'm sure you will do your absolute best to not disappoint me again.
But that really wasn't my fault so much. So is this just... I guess I'm supposed to be pulling myself this way. And then, does it really even matter? Yeah, I have to push down to get up. So, sure seems like these flickering lights are trying to direct me to something. Seriously? What was I supposed to do then? I don't get why you would, like, if you're pre-buying these Unity assets, which I assume the developers of this game are, why so many maintenance doors? Why so many air vents? If it's one thing Portal did that I really agree with, it would be the fact that there's a very clean interface. And this is the exact opposite of that. It's just an extremely, extremely dirty interface. And the thing here is we're not going to have really great places to break up this recording, so I'm just going to pause, and then the music's going to play in the menu. Honestly, a little bit of a pet peeve. Music should go silent in the menu, because if you're trying to pause to answer someone, answer a phone, or just have silence for some other reason, you're getting the exact opposite. At worst, I would say you would want very subtle, very quiet music in the menu. That's not what we're getting here. Anyways, we've gone 30 minutes. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.